Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Legion here, and after seeing how much you all enjoyed last year's tavern-themed video, I knew I had to pull up a stool and serve another one. This time, looking ahead to the best tavern-centric computer games to play going into 2026. Now, these aren't all your classic build a tavern, hire a few barkeeps, and pray the patrons behave themselves kinds of games. Some of these titles really raise the bar with unique mechanics and worlds, while others will absolutely tap into your love for cozy inns, rowdy pubs, and fantasy-filled drinking halls. So, pull up a chair, pour one of your favorite drinks, get cozy, and let's dive into the world of tavern-themed gaming once again. Cheers! I'm not covering these tavern games in any particular order, but I have to start with Tavern Keeper. It's from the same indie devs who brewed up Game Dev Tycoon, so they already know a thing or two about crafting a good simulation. The game's still in early access here in 2026, but honestly, it's already more polished than many of the fully released titles out there. The visuals are cozy without being cluttered, the pacing is spot on, and the number of little discoveries you stumble into is a bottomless mug of entertainment. Case in point, I was flipping through the scheduling book, cleverly disguised as a Sears tome, when I realized you can actually run your tavern day and night, turning it into a 24-hour fantasy Denny's. I joked on stream about how cool it would be if there were different night shift patrons, only to find out the game was already one step ahead of me. Talk about being served. Most tavern sims I've played treat nighttime as a reset period. Restock your ale, mop the floors, kick out the last dwarf who refuses to leave. But Tavern Keeper lets the world keep turning, and it makes your tavern feel legitimately alive. Every character you meet comes with their own quirky description, and your employees have traits you can lean into or avoid if you don't want your entire staff to be chaotic gremlins. I figured I'd play for a couple of hours to get a feel for things, and then casually dropped over 30 hours into it without even noticing. Turns out I was the one getting tavern kept. Bottom line, I can't say enough good things about this game. It's already fantastic, and I'm genuinely excited to see what future updates bring. If you're into tavern sims, management games, or just want to lose track of time in the most delightful way possible, keep your eye on this one. The next game I've got to talk about is Monsterful Tavern. Now this one doesn't have a release date yet. Yeah, I know, boo. But I'm really hoping we'll at least get a demo or some early access goodness sometime in 2026. The art is completely hand-drawn, and the whole aesthetic looks incredibly creative and genuinely unique. It's the kind of game that makes you say, okay, I'd totally let monsters run my bar if it looked this good. The Steam description of the game says this: become the owner of a tavern for monsters in a simulation RPG game infused with absurd black humor and real stories drawn from over a decade of experience running a board game bar. In Monsterful Tavern, you can cook nights, serve whiskey, upgrade your venue, and explore underground dungeons in search of the finest ingredients. The tavern is not just a kitchen and bar. It also features an underground farm, a barn, a slaughterhouse, and even a breeding ground for carnivorous bees. You heard that right, carnivorous bees. Everything about it feels charmingly odd in the best way, like a tavern you'd accidentally wander into during a quest and then never want to leave. Consider me fully monster invested. Next up, we've got In Tycoon, a game that definitely carries the spirit of classics like Tavern Master, which, by the way, I have way too many hours in to admit publicly. Even though the title suggests a full-on inn simulator, there's actually a surprising amount of focus on the tavern side of things, and I'm not complaining. More tavern mechanics? Pour me another round. You'll be managing day and night cycles as well as seasonal transitions, which means you will have to think ahead unless you want your patrons freezing their boots off or sweating into their soup. The cozy atmosphere and warm aesthetic make it a perfect curl up and manage your fantasy business kind of game. One detail I really enjoyed is how the spacing of your tavern layout actually impacts how efficiently your services run and how much gold you rake in. Too cramped and things get chaotic. Too spread out and your staff gets their cardio in whether they like it or not. Speaking of staff, you can recruit everyone from chefs to entertainers, servers to maids, each with their own traits that affect your inn's overall performance. And yes, you can even have a pet. Pets make everything better. That's just science. The best part? Inn Tycoon has a playable demo, so you can jump in right now and see if it's your kind of cozy tavern managing adventure. Give it a shot. You might find yourself more invested than you expected. The next game on the list is Tavern Adventures, which shares a similar visual vibe to titles like Tavern Master and Inn Tycoon. But don't let the familiar art style fool you. This game is trying to set itself apart in a big way. The developers are leaning fully into the fantasy theme, giving you a whole roster of different races, each with their own background lore and food and drink preferences. Just like in Tavern Master, you can create quests for adventurers and send heroes out on missions, which ties your tavern into the wider world instead of keeping it just a four-walled drink dispenser. As your fame grows, you'll unlock new recipes, new races, and even magical features, because who doesn't want a little enchantment mixed into their evening menu? There's no demo yet, but it is currently listed for release at the end of 2025. Whether it launches on time or sneaks into 2026, I'll definitely be giving this one a try. It looks like the kind of game that could easily quest its way into my regular rotation. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you're enjoying this video and all the other content here on the channel. I appreciate every single view and every single viewer, and I genuinely do my best to respond to every comment. So feel free to drop one below. If you like the video, hit that like button, and remember, subscribing on YouTube is completely free, unlike the drinks in these tavern games. I don't take on sponsors, so the focus here is always on the content and the community. I have a gaming podcast with two friends of mine called The Gamer's Advocate, where we discuss topics that affect games, gaming, and gamers. We are never short on topics. The link to the channel can be found in the description and in my channel bio. I also go live from time to time, and I'd love to see you there. Come hang out, chat, or just lurk with a virtual mug of something cozy. Once again, thank you for being here. It really means a lot. Cheers. Now for something a little different in the tavern genre. By day, Tavernhold looks like your typical management sim. Run a tavern, hire workers, earn gold, upgrade your place. You know the drill. Everything's cozy and calm as you prep for the evening rush. But once night falls, the whole game flips on its head. Suddenly, your peaceful tavern turns into a tower defense battleground, and if the creatures of the night break through your defenses and slip into your inn, it's game over. Guest rooms sound great for extra income, but wait, maybe you need that wood for another barricade instead. And do you spend your hard-earned gold hiring more staff? Or do you upgrade your arrows so you can serve the monsters something a little stronger? Balancing these decisions is honestly a blast. The workers you hire during the day actually become your archers at night, and placing them carefully is key to surviving each wave. Push through long enough, and a powerful boss will show up to test not just your defenses, but your management skills too. The game is planned for early 2026, but there is a demo available right now, so if you want to find out whether you can survive the night, definitely give Tavernhold a try. What if I told you there's a tavern game that has almost nothing to do with running a tavern? No pouring drinks, no serving stew, no dealing with rowdy customers. Yet it's still an absolute blast to play. Let me introduce you to Tabletop Tavern. This game blends Total War-style combat with a fantasy setting, all framed inside a cozy tavern atmosphere. You'll battle rival factions on maps filled with dynamic terrain that actually affects the flow of combat. Swamps will bog your troops down. Forests will cut the effectiveness of ranged attacks. Every battlefield feels alive and tactical. The roguelike campaign is seriously addictive, and the variety of units and heroes gives you tons of options to experiment with. You've got orcs and trolls, humans, dwarves, elves, and even all sorts of beasts and beast-like creatures. Mix and match, strategize, and watch the chaos unfold. The developers have pushed out a ton of updates and actively encourage players to try the demo and share feedback through reviews or their Discord. I've had a great time with this one, and if you're into a mix of RTS, roguelite action, and fantasy, all within a tavern atmosphere, definitely check out Tabletop Tavern.
Tavernquest, trial version.
Time for a little honesty check. I have been beyond excited to talk about this next game, and I've been looking forward to sharing it with you all for a while now. I'm a huge fan of RPGs, especially narrative-heavy ones like Road Warden, Slay the Princess, and Disco Elysium. So this next title hits me right in my storyteller heart. Now, this might be a tough sell at first, but stick with me. Run Tavernquest is a narrated, text-based adventure. Yes, very much in the spirit of those classic Zork-style games.
Invalid command. New game. Type help for assistance.
The humor hits you right away, and you'll be picturing the whole story in your mind as it's narrated to you. It's old school in the best way, and I promise it's way more charming and entertaining than I can describe in a single breath. Honestly, it's probably easier if I just show you a quick example, because my explanation isn't doing it justice. Let me roll a snippet so you can see what I mean.
You are interrupted by a nearby table of dwarves.
Quit your murdering, you beardless buffoon! Say, maybe killing those rats in the basement would sate your bloodlust.
Run Tavernquest has a playable demo available right now and is expected to release in early 2026. And yes, it's absolutely sitting on my Steam watch list. As a very old-school gamer, I really appreciate what the developers are trying to bring back with this style of game, and the tavern-themed storytelling makes it even better. I'll be watching its release like a hawk. Or maybe like a tavern keeper, guarding the last mug of ale.
Run Tavernquest, a game by you.
We've covered a lot of different genres in the tavern game space, but this next one is definitely the hardest to categorize. The Forbidden Flask is a tavern game wrapped in the disguise of an illegal alchemy operation, all while you're trying to dodge the king's guards and fend off would-be burglars. Fortunately, customers are plentiful, and thieves can be discouraged the old-fashioned way, by hurling a mug of ale at their heads. Truly, justice has never been so frothy. The art style is simple yet charming, unique but with that familiar indie game warmth that makes it instantly approachable. The gameplay itself isn't overly complex, but it keeps you engaged by constantly pushing you to maintain enough revenue to pay the king's daily taxes. And of course, the real temptation comes from brewing and selling illegal potions, which earn you far more gold than serving regular old ales. Risky? Yes. Profitable? Also yes. The Forbidden Flask launched in October 2025, and there's a playable demo available right now. I definitely recommend trying it out and seeing whether you can keep your tavern afloat, and yourself out of jail. If you enjoy low-poly tavern sims like Ale and Tale Tavern or Tavern Manager Simulator, Medieval Startup is right up your alley. It brings that same charming graphical style, but with a bit of a twist. In Medieval Startup, your success doesn't just upgrade your bar, it transforms the entire world around you. As your tavern grows, the surrounding community begins to thrive, eventually forming a full village built from your hard work. And you're not just pouring drinks. You'll step into the shoes of a carpenter, baker, blacksmith, and even a farmer. The gameplay expands far beyond typical tavern management, giving you multiple roles to master as you build both your business and the town itself. Explore a world with a full day-night cycle and plenty of secrets hidden throughout the area. Since the game is still in early access, the devs have already teased a ton of upcoming features, like new biomes, recipes, quests, and NPCs, promising even deeper immersion as the game evolves. If you're into cozy management games with a broader world-building twist, Medieval Startup might be one to keep an eye on. I recently came across a game that's perfect for all the children of the night. Bar Tycoon takes the classic bar management idea and gives it a fun, vampiric twist. Your mission is to take rundown taverns and transform them into thriving hotspots with unique themes and styles. Customize the atmosphere by adjusting the lighting, swapping out furniture, and crafting the perfect vibe for vampire society. And keep in mind, not all your patrons are vampires, and some humans could end up becoming a source of key ingredients in your more special cocktails. Just be careful not to accidentally create a corpse, unless you're looking to attract unwanted attention from vampire hunters. The art style has that familiar two-point charm while still standing out as something uniquely its own. If you've ever dreamed of running a vampire bar, Bar Tycoon is definitely worth checking out. Now it's time to wind down and slip into full bartender mode in this alternate Europe speakeasy setting. Best Served Cold puts you behind the bar, trying to keep the lights on by chatting with customers and gathering clues you'll eventually pass along to detectives working to clean up the city. You'll need to question, charm, coerce, or even intimidate your guests to uncover the information needed to crack each case. It's a narrative-driven tavern game where every conversation counts. The art style is gorgeous, and the gameplay actually reminds me a bit of Tavern Talk, a game I covered in last year's video. Picture this: a dimly lit bar, the cherry-red glow of a cigar held by a shadowy figure in the corner, rain tapping against the windows, and soft jazz drifting through the air. Curl up with your favorite beverage, but remember, drinks, like revenge, are best served cold.
I'll be waiting, bartender. Don't let me down.
And there you have it, 11 tavern-themed games I'm excited to check out in 2026. It's amazing how many unique and creative titles are on the horizon. While I can't promise every one of these will officially release next year, I did my best to confirm that their timelines are on track. Thanks so much for sticking around until the end. If there's a game you think I missed, or one you believe deserves a spot on this list, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your suggestions. I had a great time putting this video together, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one.